Ever wonder how some people seem to have an endless well of creativity and inspiration? It's as if they've tapped into a secret spring, a place where ideas flow freely and constantly. This magical realm filled with endless possibilities is what we're about to explore today. You see, there's a common misconception about creativity. We often believe it's a rare gift bestowed upon a select few. We think it's elusive, unpredictable, and reserved for those bestowed with genius. But what if that's not the case? Imagine a world where creativity is as common as the air we breathe. A world where everyone has access to that secret spring, where ideas are not a luxury, but a part of everyday life. This is the world Elizabeth Gilbert presents in her book, Big Magic. But what if creativity is not as elusive as we think? What if it's more accessible, more universal? Let's dive into the world of Big Magic. Elizabeth Gilbert, in her book Big Magic, offers a refreshing perspective on creativity. Unfurling the pages of Big Magic, Gilbert enlightens us with her unique take on the creative process. The book is organized into 6 fascinating sections that form the backbone of her philosophy: courage, enchantment, permission, persistence, trust, and divinity. Let's start with courage. Here, Gilbert proposes that creativity requires courage not only to pursue new ideas, but also to defy the societal norms that often discourage unconventional paths. She nudges us to embrace our individuality and to fearlessly pursue our passions. Moving on to enchantment, Gilbert delves into the mystical aspects of creativity. She suggests that ideas are independent entities that move from person to person, seeking the right collaborator. This enchanting concept allows us to view ideas as magical and living entities, rather than mere mental constructs. Next, we have permission. Gilbert emphasizes that everyone has the permission to live a creative life. You don't need anyone's approval, nor do you need to be a professional artist. It's about living a life driven more by curiosity than by fear. Persistence is the 4th section, where Gilbert underscores the importance of commitment to our creative endeavors. She insists that creativity is not a fleeting moment of inspiration, but a long, enduring journey that requires unwavering persistence. Trust is the next pillar of Gilbert's philosophy. She encourages us to trust our instincts, to trust the process, and most importantly, to trust the magic of creativity. Finally, we have divinity. Gilbert proposes that creativity is a divine process. It's a sacred relationship between the creator and the creation, a dance of co-creation with the universe itself. Gilbert believes that everyone has the potential to live a creative life. It's not about being a professional artist, it's about leading a life driven more by curiosity than by fear. Gilbert's refreshing perspective invites us to embrace the unknown, to face our fears, and to discover the big magic of leading a creative life. Where does one start in their journey towards a creative life? Gilbert suggests it starts with courage. This is not the kind of courage that calls for grand gestures or heroic deeds. Instead, it's the quiet, persistent courage to face our fears, to challenge the status quo, and to pursue what we love, even if it goes against societal expectations. It's the courage to create. Gilbert reminds us that our fears are often the biggest obstacles in our creative journey. They whisper tales of failure, ridicule, and rejection. But as she astutely points out, these fears are not only common, but also, quite frankly, boring. They are the same fears that every creative soul battles. What truly sets us apart is our courage to create despite these fears. It's our ability to say, yes, I am scared, but I will not let my fear dictate my life. So let's embrace that courage, let's face our fears head on, and let's create. As Gilbert writes, your fear is boring. It's the courage to create that truly sets us apart. But courage alone isn't enough. According to Gilbert, persistence plays an equally important role. Let's delve into this idea. In Big Magic, Elizabeth Gilbert illustrates how persistence is the unsung hero of the creative process. It's not just about having that initial spark of inspiration, it's about fanning that spark into a flame and then nurturing that flame every day, even when the winds of doubt try to extinguish it. Persistence is showing up consistently. It's writing every day, even when the words don't flow easily. It's painting every day, even when the colors seem dull and uninspired. It's playing the piano every day, even when the notes sound off-key. It's the act of doing, of creating, even when the muse seems to have taken a vacation. Gilbert emphasizes the need to keep doing the work, even when it's hard, even when there's no guarantee of success, because the truth is, there is never any guarantee of success, and yet we must persist, not because we want applause or accolades, but because the act of creating brings us joy, satisfaction, fulfillment. She encourages us to approach our work like a farmer tending to his fields. He doesn't know if the rain will come, if the crops will flourish, or if the harvest will be bountiful. But he still wakes up at the crack of dawn, day in and day out, and does the work. And so must we. We must tend to our creative fields with the same diligence and devotion. Gilbert also talks about the importance of patience in the creative process. Persistence, she says, is nothing without patience. It's about understanding that creativity is not a race but a marathon. It's a long, winding journey, sometimes uphill, sometimes downhill, but always forward. Persistence, then, is the backbone of creativity. It's the quiet, steady force that keeps us going, that keeps us creating, even when the odds seem stacked against us. In the end, Gilbert urges us to keep creating, not for the outcome, but for the sheer joy of the process. So, what can we take away from Big Magic? Let's revisit the enchanting journey we've been on. Elizabeth Gilbert has beautifully articulated the universal nature of creativity. It's not an exclusive club, but an inherent capacity within each of us, waiting to be tapped into. She urges us to muster the courage to create, to step beyond our comfort zones and embrace the unknown. It's about confronting our fears and insecurities head-on, about recognizing that the journey is as important as the destination. And yes, persistence. It's about showing up day after day, refusing to give up on ourselves or our ideas, and understanding that every setback is just another stepping stone on the path to creativity. Above all, Gilbert teaches us to delight in the joy of the creative process, to lose ourselves in the magic of creation. Remember, as Gilbert says, you do not need anybody's permission to live a creative life. So go ahead, explore your curiosity, face your fears, and discover your own big magic.